What's up, my fellow Shield Brothers? It is Shield Brothers 6 here for the History Armada. So on this wonderful Wednesday, we're going to be talking about a little bit of holiday history, with the Christmas season coming in and the Yuletime season and the holiday of Yule coming in. This week and next week, we're going to talk about a little bit of the traditional holiday history. Today we'll be talking about the history of the candy cane, and next week you can catch us for the history of Krampus. That will be a fun one. But like I said, today we are talking about the history of the candy cane. The candy cane is a famous piece of candy at this point. Everyone knows it, quite well associated with Christmas. It's quite a delicious treat. I do enjoy a good bit of peppermint. So, here you can see a candy cane timeline, right? 1670, the first candy cane possibly invented. 1700s, the white pulled sugar candies become popular. 1844, first striped peppermint stick recipe. 1847, the first modern white candy cane is made. And then about in 1900, the candy cane becomes red and white as they add red to the confection. There was a candy cane manufacturing machine that was invented in 1957. So at this point, we all know, enjoy, and see candy canes for Christmas. But why? Where does it come from? And that's what we're going to talk about today. So, according to the National Confectioners Association, candy canes are the #1 selling non-chocolate candy during the month of December. And it's no wonder, because candy canes are quite ingrained in Christmas and when you think of the holiday now. And is often used to decorate Christmas trees as well as be eaten. So, that leads to 1.76 billion candy canes produced in the United States alone annually. 1.76 billion. So we all know candy canes. We all use and love candy canes. But where do they come from? That's what we're going to discuss today. So, first we have to talk about a little bit of a legend that has to do with it. The original candy cane was probably made over 350 years ago. Over time, the candy cane has become a symbol, like I said, of the Christmas holiday as well as the Yule season. The first candy cane was not in the shape of a cane, however. It was just a straight and only flavored with sugar candy. So it was a white sugar stick, and that's the origins. Sugar sticks. It was a basically pulled confectioner's sugar that they would just add peppermint eventually to. But the legend has it that in 1670, the cane-shaped candy became historical when a choir master at the Cologne Cathedral in Germany bent the sugar sticks into canes to appear as shepherd's hook. Why would he bend it into shepherd's hook? Well, it was at the time of the Living Creche ceremony, or the Living Nativity. So as you can see there, the Nativity on the right. It's a popular ceremony in the church. And so in Germany here in 1670, this choir master couldn't get his choir boys to be quiet or sit still during the living nativity ceremony. So he gave them these bent sugar sticks that looked like a hook in honor of the living creche ceremony to keep them quiet. Supposedly. That's the legend of where it comes from. And the all-white candy canes were given out to the children who attended the ceremony to keep them quiet and patient, and this became a popular tradition, and eventually the practice during the church ceremonies spread all over Europe and America, but originally in Germany. The first documented example of the use of a candy cane to celebrate Christmas occurred in 1847, when August Imgard, a German-Swedish immigrant to America in Ohio, decorated Christmas trees with the paper ornaments and candy canes. So, additionally, the solid white sugar candy canes were on Christmas cards as early as the early 1900s. The first red and white striped candy canes were made at the turn of the 19th century. At the same time, however, the first striped candy canes appeared, the candy makers added the peppermint flavor that we all know, which quickly became the iconic and traditional flavor for the candy canes. It was no longer just white sugar, but peppermint. So it goes from being this candy given out by a choir master to keep children quiet during the Christmas ceremonies, and it takes on its own bit of identity with its red color added and the peppermint flavoring to become this iconic candy cane that we all know now. But That was still good 200 years ago, right? So, at the turn of the 20th century, the red stripes and peppermint flavor emerged as the popular and traditional flavor, like I said. And in the 1920s, Bob McCormick from Atlanta was the first to use candy canes as a special treat for Christmas for his friends and family and extended relations. In the beginning, the red and white candy canes were made by hand and produced them with labor-intensive sugar pooling. Like I said, they were sugar sticks or peppermint sticks, right? They were pooled confectioner's sugar that had been heated up and pooled by hand to form these cane shapes. But the process for making candy canes was eliminated in the 1950s when a machine was designed especially for the automation of candy cane productions, invented by Gregory Keller, Bob's brother-in-law. And it had been in business for over 80 years now, as they make candy canes for Americans. Many people still believe that the shape and form of the candy cane have religious meaning. It is believed that the red stripes of the candy cane represent the blood of Christ, having to do with the Christmas holiday and the birth of the Jesus Christ. And the white stripes of the candy cane represent the purity of Christ, and the fine stripes, as you see here with the 3 stripes on the candy cane, there are 3 stripes going around to represent the Holy Trinity. The J shape of the candy cane is also meant to represent the name of Jesus, supposedly, or a shepherd's hook, having to do with the Nativity and the Living Christ ceremony, like I mentioned with the legend of the choir master from 1670. So either way, the candy cane is now a traditional symbol of the Christmas holiday. Today, candy canes are available in different shapes, colors, and flavors, but the red and white peppermint candy cane still remains the classic favorite among candy canes. So whether or not this is true, it is too hard to say. Does the J shape actually mean a homage to Jesus? Possibly. Is it the shepherd's hook originally from 1670? Also possibly. But one thing that is for certain is that now it is a staple among the Yule and Christmas holidays, and it is easy to find them in your stores starting as early as November. And this Yuletide treat now finds home in many people's stockings, Christmas trees, and stomachs. So there we have it, a little bit about the origin and possible history of the candy cane. So the candy cane, like I said, had kind of an elusive history. We're not exactly sure if this is the true history or when it started, but we do know how it evolved. And we also do know now it is a very popular treat among Europeans and especially Americans. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you found this a little bit of a fun history about a popular candy treat and the solid formation of the history of the candy cane. So whether or not any of this is true is hearsay, like I said, except for the parts that we now know. So, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you check out my other videos. I will be back next week for the history of Krampus, a mythical Christmas figure among the Europeans that we will be talking about with his history and his involvement in the Christmas celebrations. So, I hope you enjoyed, and until next time, as always, I'm ShieldBrothers 6, and I'll catch y'all next time. Thanks so much for viewing.